like there's no tomorrow.
Welcome to the BingKing podcast.
Okay, how's everyone doing? I have David here with me. How are you, David?
I'm very well. Hello.
Today we're going to talk about EDH Etiquette.
Yes.
You are our group's, I guess, most charismatic player. So welcome to my podcast. Hello, how's everyone doing? And
It's an honor.
yeah, thank you.
Most charismatic player.
You have to be, right?
Right. Oh, I'll take it. Thank you.
I'm going to separate everything into 3 buckets. Before the game starts, during the game, and then ending the game. I guess those 3 buckets. And I guess how to be polite in each stage. Think that's fair?
Yes.
Okay.
With a caveat that I've done some impolite things in my time.
I think we all have. And I don't think that this is like... I don't think these are rules, right? I don't think they're hard and set. They're kind of just how we see the game in today. And I think this is all kind of changeable. So it doesn't really... It's not hard. It's not set for everyone, right? So pregame, let's say. Other than Rule 0 normal conversations, are there any particular things that you usually talk about, or do you think are suitable for EDH Polite Society?
So I think maybe I can just start with a general point about EDH and maybe how I see it as different from other forms of Magic. So
Yeah.
Recently I've been playing Powered Cube on Arena.
Oh, how is it?
It's really good. Really good. And my opponent on turn 1 played Black Lotus,
Ooh.
followed by 6, which lets you discard lands from your hand to replay things from your graveyard. So this was their turn 1. Black Lotus, 6, and then they discarded a land to get back Black Lotus.
Ooh.
They played it. They cracked it for 3 mana. They discarded another land to get back Black Lotus, played it and cracked it for another 3 mana, and then played Primeval Titan.
That sounds like a horrible game. Did you concede?
No, I was laughing. And the reason I was laughing, and I actually thought this was the coolest play ever, was because those are the rules of engagement.
Correct.
And we kind of agree that if you're playing Vintage Cube, you're there to do wacky stuff. And it's the kind of Magic you couldn't ordinarily play.
I agree.
And that's because the expectation is there. Mm-hmm. And the expectation for most one-on-one Magic is that you're there to get your opponent dead. And you're not really there to care about their feelings,
Correct.
one way or another. It's pure Magic. You are there to win the game.
Yes.
Now, the reason I bring this up is that for EDH, what's the reason you're there? Usually, actually, the reason you're there, for most people, I would say, isn't to win. Isn't to like pummel 3 other players into submission. Usually, and this isn't for everyone, but usually people are there because they're there to have a good time. They're there to have a good game.
I agree.
Actually, they're winning. It's a good game, and I think that is it's not for everyone, but I think most people are there because they want to spend time with people. They want to play a multiplayer social format that is not just all about winning. And as such, I think so much of the politeness or the etiquette, if we're going down that route, has to be about considering not just your enjoyment, but other people's enjoyment.
That I agree with. 100%.
And respecting people's time.
Correct.
As well. Mm-hmm. So when we're going to the pre-game, I think that's why the pre-game discussion is quite an important thing, especially if it's with people you don't know. Mm-hmm. Things like talking a little bit about, for instance, what sort of power level your deck's at in this new age of brackets.
Yeah.
And being honest with that. Not sort of saying, oh yeah, it's a 2 when you know deep down it's kind of a sneaky,
100%.
It plays very aggressively and powerfully. But just saying, if you've got game changers, you could even say what they are. You don't have to, but you could. And sort of talking about generally what your deck does in a way.
That's one
that
of the things that
understand.
I brought up. I think it's important to bring up, and I do this, and I don't think everyone should do this, but I like to say, look, I have these combos in my deck. I think that this combo is particularly egregious and might win me the game. It's sometimes good to bring up.
Yeah.
I don't think I would do that for all my decks, but it's a polite thing to do. Be like, oh, this deck kind of does this thing, and it's something that everyone should watch out for.
Yeah, although you do never mention Swamp and Defile as a combo.
No,
within your deck, do you?
it's signature card. It's a great card. But I think combos are important. I actually think the proxy conversation should be had beforehand as well.
Oh yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think proxies, if my deck is like 50% fake, let me know. You know, I think that's important beforehand. And it's not something really in the rule zero conversation that's like common, but I think proxies beforehand.
Yeah.
What's your take on proxies?
There's a lot of caveats. So on one hand, people might say, you know, I want to play at a higher power level, cards are expensive, and Wizards doesn't do anything to reduce the cost. And, you know, some people will also sort of object that you're sort of gatekeeping if you object to proxies because you've got the cards, but I don't, and I just want to have a fair game and all of that. My take on proxies on a personal level has changed, I think.
Me too.
It goes back and forth, but generally speaking, where I'm at is if you've got the card, great, you can proxy it. If you don't have it in multiple decks, that's understandable. Also, if you're wanting to try out a card before splurging on it, and you sort of say, I'm trying it, and then I want to maybe buy it, I think that's cool. But I think, like, just having a, you know, for instance, alpha beta duels, sort of saying, oh yeah, I'm putting these in my deck because everyone else has them, and I just want to proxy them. I sort of don't agree with that, and I don't think I'm necessarily right on that, but I just feel as though you don't have to have them. And for me personally, I like to be playing with and against real cards.
Yeah.
And also, I think, like, for people who have splashed out on the card, I think it's kind of like, it shows a respect to some sort of business down the line, a game store or other players where you've actually bought these cards. And I think that should sort of in some way be respected. Also, I just think that because I tilt towards preferring not the most optimized, powerful games of Commander and Magic possible, that I just sort of prefer seeing what people can do with the budget they've got or the cards they've got as well. Yeah. But I also say that from a position of some privilege of having quite a large collection, largely janky collection, and my preferred play style. So
right.
If you've got players who just want to play, let's say, bracket 4 at the top level, they really need a steel artifact or whatever, or copy artifact, because that's for their Urza deck, and you know there's nothing else quite like it, and they're playing against people with those in their decks, and they just want to have a good game. Fair enough. I get that, and I think that, you know, if you've got some proxies, you can sort of ask during the beginning of the game so that other people don't feel bad. And I think the general consensus is that most people playing at the higher power levels are okay with proxies.
I think so. That's what I've heard as well.
They understand that is an issue. So, but for me, I don't know. Maybe I'm being slightly unfair, but that's my sort of personal take on it.
I've always been rule of cool. I think if it's cool, it's interesting, proxy it. If you're doing it purely for power, I prefer you not.
Yeah.
I think that's my very vague line in the sand. Yeah. You know, people constantly ask me, "Oh, do you like proxies or not?" And I tell them, I have a David Tate proxy in my deck, right? I have a Swan Song in my deck, and they're like, "Why would you proxy Swan Song?" I was like, a friend gave it to me. He thought it was really cool at the time, and I have a Swan Song, and that is my only proxy in the deck. But it is there because it reminds me of a cool moment that, you know, happened to me.
Yeah.
And I think that stuff is perfectly fine. If you are proxying, like you said, ABU duels, I kind of give you a little bit of a side eye. I'm like, are you really sure you want to do this?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think proxies is a pre-game kind of etiquette thing to bring up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Swan Song in question, it was quite funny. So Arthur posted a picture on his WeChat of, you were like riding a statue swan or something, or a bird. And at the time, I was getting some proxies printed of like some some weird lands.
Yeah.
And I sent this picture to the guy and said, could you turn this into a swan song for me? And then Arthur was coming, and I gave a copy of Swan Song to everyone. And I said, first spell he casts, one of us has to counter it with his own face. And it was a happy moment.
Oh, I was
a happy
dying laughing. That was one of the prime magic moments.
Yeah.
All right. Well, other than that, what do you think for beginning pregame? Do you have anything else you want to bring up?
Talk to people, see how they're doing. Like, how often is it like, oh, we're going to play? Like, can I join? Or yeah, this is my blah deck. It's this. Just like chat with people. You're there to see them. You might as well ask how they're doing. And I mean, it sounds so obvious, but like, especially if there's a new player, like find out where they're from. Like, be nice. Like, just those simple things, really. Yeah, I would say.
And I think those are really underrated. I think a lot of people kind of just sit down and they want to play the game, but it's just good to know who you're talking to, who you're playing with.
Yeah. And, hopefully they're nice and all, sometimes they're not. But
50-50.
But we move on, don't we?
Right.
And, yeah.
All right, so during the game, I think there would be the most kind of etiquette issues. The first one I'll bring up, I think, is be nice to the new guy, just like you said. I think during the game, especially if they're new, it would be nice to kind of not pound them into the sand for the first couple of games they've had during EDH.
I might amend this to be more like, be nice to the new deck.
Oh, interesting. I agree with that.
Like if somebody brings a Traxxer, but they say, oh, it's not that Traxxer, give them the benefit of the doubt before.
I don't know if I do.
There are some, if it's not that Nardu or not that VV.
Right.
Nardu got banned, right? But okay, I'll give a bit of side. Like, it's not that Edgar Markov. Yeah. Oh, well, what is it then? Combo? Like, it's blatantly that Edgar Markov. But try to because people there's nothing worse than you make a new deck and it sucks. You've spent money on it. You've spent time on it. You're excited. You play it and it's just awful. It's either, in that case, it's either absolutely busted and it goes off way beyond what you expected and you feel bad because it looks as though you've been disingenuous when actually you've tried to do something different. Like Tulane's like that, right? I've just made Crab Tulane and it still wins.
And it's still incredible.
Crab Tribal Tulane still takes the day. Yeah. Or it's quite niche and you just get pounded and then you feel quite bad. And similar for new players, if they're joining a group, they want to kind of feel like it was worth their time.
Right.
You want them to come back as well. Like you want them to come again and feel part of things. So
I think in conjunction to that, I'm like, don't kill someone too early.
Yeah.
I don't know, they're kind of hand in hand, where there's an argument to be made that if you kill someone early, especially if you're playing aggro, that's probably the right line of play, right? You're down to two opponents as opposed to three. Like that, from a number standpoint, that seems to make sense in my head. But there is an etiquette rule where you kind of have to spread the love a little bit, kind of attack each player one at a time.
I disagree, actually.
Interesting.
Usually, if I'm playing an aggro deck, I'll usually bring that up in the pre-game conversation. Not explicitly, but I will say before I swing at someone, like if I'm hitting someone for 10 on like turn 4 or something, I will say this deck has to attack.
Right.
And also, if conveniently a couple of other people are waiting for a game, it's good to kill someone.
Yes.
Or start attacking so that it feels as though the game is moving forward, so that if someone dies, another game can get going. I think that comes up quite a bit. Like you'll have 6 players, 4 have started a game, 2 are hanging around, someone's late, they're in a DD, they didn't expect traffic in Shanghai on a Friday night at 6 o'clock. In the rain, this unforeseen circumstance. Oh my God, there's traffic. I never dreamed of this.
Yeah.
So that can be quite a convenient excuse to attack.
But on the other hand, let's say you're just 4 and you kill someone too early, and then they're sitting around for an hour waiting for this game to end.
That does suck. If it is just 4, you read the room, don't you?
Right.
You can kind of get it. I probably attack more than most players, to be honest. I've been in pods where no one's attacking except me in the early
Yeah.
game, and I feel like I'm transgressing in a way, but I don't care. Like, ultimately, people, like, there's this fine balance where people say, like, they want the game to last a certain amount of turns.
Yeah.
But certainly within the Shanghai meta, like, games can't last too long. People get annoyed if games last too long.
Yes.
And that's so different. When I used to live in Nanjing, we used to play at the shop, and games lasted forever.
Well, what's forever? What's forever?
2.5, 3 hours.
Okay, that's a long game.
And there would be various peeing and smoking breaks in the middle. Everyone would be drinking. There'd be several rafts. And games would just go on and on and on. And when I moved to Shanghai, I was shocked that a game was over in 45 minutes. And then it was on
45 minutes
games.
might be short for me.
Yeah.
I think 45 to an hour is reasonable.
But I was shocked. I remember being like, whoa, they're really cutthroat here.
Oh, yeah?
And actually, the deck power in Shanghai was, I would say, much lower than in Nanjing.
Right.
But in Nanjing, there are a lot of rafts. There's a lot of back
Interaction.
and forth.
Right.
And also, people have a lot more spare time. Like, we talk about time being a thing. Like, Shanghai is a much faster pace of life, and I think it's reflected in the games, actually.
Oh, that's interesting.
Whereas when I went back to my hometown in Lancaster, this little town in the north of England, this time I took a couple of commander decks with me, and like Riel the Everwise and another one.
Riel's quite powerful.
And yeah, it is powerful, but we were sort of having the pre-game conversation, and I said, oh yeah, there's not too many like valuable cards in here or whatever, blah blah blah. And then I played a turn 3 Fable of the Mirror Break, which is like a $10 card, and I got eye rolls like, oh, he's trying hard. kind of thing. They play like Hill Giants, and like there's totally different meta.
It is really interesting going to different cities, even just different card shops that have different metas, and you kind of have to adjust your power scaling according to what everyone else is playing.
Yeah.
Especially when you get very used to playing with your play group and then going to a different card shop or a different meta, and you're like, oh, this is what you said is fast is not fast here.
And I think that's why it keeps coming back to people and time. We've not really mentioned people so much yet, but time and people, if we're talking about etiquette and we're talking about how to balance things, I think it's just about knowing the group you're in and finding people you like to play with as well. Like, we play in a game store, and I've stopped going as much just because I just enjoy games where I just see my friends more. Yeah. And I'd found that sometimes I've been going and a game's just like annoyed me, and I've left the shop feeling more annoyed than when I went in. And part of that's on me. And part of that as well, my stubborn insistence to play at a lower power level. Yeah. And getting stomped by proxied higher power level decks. Yeah. But I could get mad about that, or I could be like, okay, it's not for me as much anymore, and I could be just sort of see my friends and play less often. I've been enjoying that, actually.
Me too.
That's been a good change for me personally.
I think it's really good to have your own close meta, but occasionally step out of it and then play in other places. Yeah. But have like a set group of friends that you really enjoy playing with. I think that's more important. Yeah. Because then you worry less about the etiquette. Yeah. I think you all have very similar rules on how to be polite and good with each other. And so you have less rule zero to talk about. You kind of just have a set of rules that everyone knows and kind of everyone abides by just by being there, right? You attract like-minded people. Yeah. Yeah.
And like I play at the shop a lot. I'm going to play pre-release this weekend, the Avatar set, which should be fun. Do a lot of limited there, and I do still go and play sometimes when I'm in the mood, but I was like, it was kind of default what I did every Sunday would be go to the shop, play some Magic. Yeah. But I just found that I just wasn't enjoying it as much, so I sort of stepped away, and I've been enjoying doing broken things on a powered cube on Arena or whatever instead. And that's cool.
Okay, I think that's a great place. I'm curious how you feel about, because we all say we have to respect each other's time, right? Yeah. I think time is one of the more important pieces in Shanghai. But at some point, how do you know whether or not to wrath, whether or not to just let this game end?
it comes up sometimes where I have a play, but it's going to take so long to resolve. I will hold back on it because it just or I'll even ask, I'll say, I've got a play, but it'll take ages. Do you want me to do it?
Yeah.
And depending on the players at the table, they will either want it or not. So we had a game recently where it was me, Louis, Kevin, and someone else. And I had this really complex play. It was kind of a warp world effect, but not a warp world.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you want to do it? And Louis was immediately like, yes! Like he wanted it. Like, because he was excited by it. And Kevin less excited. But Louis' enthusiasm prevailed. And half an hour later, we resolved everything. And basically, it was kind of like a convoluted board wipe where a load of people had got a load more cards in their hand. But it took ages, and that game lasted forever. But
did you enjoy it?
It was fun, but it was that particular time. If it was another time, or if I'd even perhaps been another player at the table where I'm not going to benefit from it, maybe I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. So you've got, that's the thing about considering other people's point of view and enjoyment, right?
So it's just good to ask. I think that would be your point. Just good to ask, like, do you guys mind if I do this thing?
I don't, and the thing is as well, I don't think you should pull your punches. Like if you've got board wipes in a deck, presumably they're there for that situation. I don't think we should get to a point where, oh God, you casting a board wipe has wasted all of our time. I think that's a mistake. I think the line there is mass land destruction.
Yeah.
Where you've blown up all the lands, you've wasted all that. I think that's where the line is. I think a board wipe's sort of fair game, really. Because we run the risk of getting into a situation where there's kind of a risk that it almost mirrors the kind of, oh, you're just getting offended for the sake of it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Depending on a mood.
I understand where you're going with that.
That's one of the real challenges of four-player. That's one of the real challenges of four-player Commander is that, like, sometimes because it's a social format and because you're seeing your friends, sometimes you've had a bad day and you might be a bit petulant, or you were hoping for something and then it didn't happen and something else happened. And because there is this expectation on a four-player game like Commander that is absent from two-player where, zero fucks are given as to your lands or your enjoyment. If you want it to stop, you just concede and we move on to the next game. That's one of the real challenges I think that Commander faces just generally, is that
it's 4 players, and not everyone is in the same mindset at every game.
Yeah, and it's a real delicate balance, and people annoy each other sometimes. I've been annoyed by people I love, and I've probably annoyed them. And sometimes, like, you betraying someone is like high heresy. Sometimes it's hilarious.
Yeah,
and it's all about people. It's a game about people and your reading of them and your rapport with them and all of that kind of thing. It's a real tough line to walk, I think.
I think so too. It's really funny you brought that up, because my next one was we had mentioned 60 card formats, and bluffing is normal in 60 card formats.
Oh yeah.
What's your take on bluffing? Is it lying? Like, what if I just said I have a board wipe in hand, and I didn't, but I said I have a board wipe in hand? Is that lying? Is that because there's also that kind of deal making in EDH, that side of the game? Where's that line?
Again, it comes down to people.
Yeah.
Because Magic is a game of hidden information.
Correct.
And that's one of the things that makes it
fun
and so engaging. My experience is, if you break a deal, like not bluff, but if you break a deal with someone, like let's say, I won't attack you next turn.
Right.
And then next turn you kill them. They're going to remember. And they're never going to trust you again.
Correct.
Or then it's going to take them a long time. Like they have
that
like
grudge lasts a long time.
People remember I don't know if I believe you there. Exactly. And I think bluffing, like for instance, like you can say, oh, I'll counter it, and then you don't, or whatever, because you don't have one. I think that's fine. I think it's when you sort of exact a promise from someone by behaving in a certain way that then you don't fulfill on, people get a little annoyed by that, or it will change the way they play with you in the future.
Right.
Does that answer your question?
A little bit. I was in a game at a Command Fest.
Yeah.
I think it was Beijing, and the boys sat down and he was like, I'm going to destroy so-and-so's creature next turn.
You don't like him because you just called him a boy. He's not a man to you.
He was actually very much a boy. But
a man keeps his word. This boy.
He didn't have it. He just didn't have it.
I just lied.
And I sat there and I was like, man, like I planned my next turn based on that creature not being there.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit upset.
Yeah.
But I was also like, but in 60 card formats, that's par for the course.
Yeah.
Right? I bluffed. You fell for my bluff. That's your call.
How would that, like, that was a command fest.
Yes.
If he was in your play group, how would that change your perception of him? Like, in future games, what would your thought be?
I would be a little bit more wary to play with this person.
Right.
I'd be like, man, he kind of bluffed me out last time.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if I want to, like, make another deal with him, right?
Yeah.
Or if I want to just believe anything this person says.
Yeah.
However, we do say there are no grudges, right? Like, a new game is a new game. It should be starting from scratch again.
No, I don't agree with that.
Oh, you don't agree with that at all?
No. Like, I think it can be quite a fun thing. Like, they kind of, you won the last game, I'm hitting you for 5.
Right.
And it's kind of like banter, right?
Yeah.
But if somebody lies to you, like, ideally, yes, you move on, it's a new game. But because it's a social game, and because they're people that you're spending time with, if they lied to you, it's fine. Like, you shouldn't just swallow it. Like, you can get your own back. I think that's fine. And I think a good player as well will take advantage of that animosity and use it to their advantage.
Yeah.
Like, say, oh, well, he killed you last time, didn't he? You should hit him. You know, it's like a goad emblem hanging over the table.
How long do you hold grudges for?
That's a good question. I mean, to be entirely fair, I wouldn't say I hold grudges. Like, but I remember what happened, and it might shape my future thing. And like, I play sometimes with Dennis, and for whatever reason, I always seem to end up like screwing Dennis over, like he dies first or something, and now he comes for me all the time
because he remembers.
But it's kind of like the rapport we have as well. Like, also in my mind, if I have something mean to do, I'll do it to Dennis because I think it's quite funny, and he'll, you know, that's kind of the joke, that's kind of the fun of it, right?
You know, in our play group, Yiming has never lived down his spikiness.
No,
and it's been years.
Yeah,
and he would, the day he comes back, he goes right back to, arch enemy number 1 because everyone has grudges and they don't go away sometimes.
Yeah.
And I sometimes feel like in an ideal world, we should just let those go.
I kind of envision Yiming's return as being a bit like, you know that scene in Lord of the Rings? They're in the mines and all the goblins are surrounding. And then in the background you hear, boom. And then all the goblins skitter. He's like, it's Yiming. He's coming. Run.
Yeah. No, I get that.
That's what it'll be like.
Correct. What's your take on... a lot of the command fests have kind of shaped how I feel, but like, we used to play in Cactus.
Yeah.
And Cactus really shaped certain etiquette things in particular, because we play a lot around food. And I've often found some of our players are half eating, half playing. What's your take on the hygiene side of this?
I think it's bad.
It's bad.
Straight up. It's a bad thing to do, and especially if you've got like you might incidentally steal a card or two. Yeah. From someone, not forever, but like for the game, from someone's deck to play, like it'd be a theft effect or something. And if you've got your hands covered in pizza or you've got beers that are spilling or whatever, all of this is a challenge. And I think that generally speaking, it should be a case of like no food while you're playing, especially if you're playing with someone else's cards. That being said, do as I say, not as I do. I absolutely, because I mean, I would be at Cactus drinking far too many beers, swaying slightly, bits of pizza dribbling down my chin.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Wiping it up with cards. Trev, lend us that. This is very much, and that's sort of the social thing as well, right? And like, I have seen a beer spilled on someone's deck before. This was in Nanjing. I think it was Nate's deck.
Oof.
And it was sad because like everyone was quick. Oh
Rushed
shit!
to it,
Like let's do our best. But it's not nice when that happens, and it's not nice when that happens to you. So, I think just generally, like if somebody was to say, "Oh, guys, could we make sure we're careful with the drinks?"
Yeah.
Like we had Connor's vintage cube recently, and we have a very strict drinks on the floor policy with that because it's a vintage cube,
Correct.
and we all understand that. I think we could be better with that. I think other things as well, like sometimes you might like jab at a card, like, oh, I'm going to go for this one, or like even if you got someone's card, or, like I did a thing recently that I just did it. It was an instinctive reaction. I immediately felt a deep sense of shame. So I was down to a 1-on-1 with me versus Trev, and he killed me with Blood of the Blood God or something, big evil spell. And I read it, and then I was just like, oh, and then I flicked it towards him, and it's like I don't think it is a valuable card, luckily, but it was just an instinctive thing of like, fine, Trev. I just like picked it, but that's really rude. I shouldn't do that. And I felt immediately like, oh god, and I apologized straight away as well because I realized, oh no, I shouldn't have done that. But when you get a bit carried away, you're having banter with someone, and then you do,
I think, and I don't do this all the time either, but I try very, very hard to always ask before I touch someone's cards. And I try to. Try to. I don't do it all the time, guys. But I really try to be like, can I see that? Can I see that? Just ask. Because I was in Shanghai Command Fest, and a guy had just sneezed and then touched my card. And and I was just like, and I really wanted to like give him a tissue, and I was like, oh no. And it made me
imagine how awful that was for you.
It was so terrible for me. And I was sitting there like, and he didn't even ask. He just sneezed and then went for my card, and I was like, okay, it's okay. And in my, like, I couldn't take it. And I was immediately like, I reflected on myself, and I was like, I also don't always ask to touch other people's cards.
Yeah.
And maybe I should. Like, I think that's just a normal etiquette thing. Just be like, hey, can I see your card? Even if I didn't sneeze, I would still try to ask.
Yeah. We all have our flaws and faults, don't we? But yeah, that reminds me of something that annoyed me actually. I was at a game store and playing with some friends, and another guy came, and my bag was on a chair next to me, and he said, "Oh, do you mind if I take this chair?" We're in a room full of chairs. There were so many chairs unoccupied he could have taken, and I just sort of said, "Oh no, I'm keeping my bag there. Could you take a different chair?" And he didn't even listen. He just was like, "Oh, you just took the chair," and then my bag fell over, and like a load of binders and cards fell out, and he was pretty unapologetic, and I just was so annoyed by that. I think I had to go at him, but just simple etiquette. We all have our moments. Don't we? We all have our moments.
I have another one.
Okay.
I think announcing what your card does, I think is I guess, not everyone does this. Just reading your card or the relevant part of the card before you play it. I think cards now are so complicated that just reading the relevant part of the card. Hey guys, this is going to be a Blood Artist effect. Whatever dies, pings everyone. Just letting everyone know is very important.
Just reading the card as you cast it,
Because I think a lot of people will just start playing, and they know what their card does, but I don't. Like, I guess because we've been playing a little bit less, I'm not always up to date, but it's nice to just be like, hey, what does that card do? If you just kind of tell me what the card is generally about, that's super helpful.
That's also one of the things that is particularly considerate for occasional or newer players. Because, like, when I started playing Commander in the Nanjing shop, really, we had the EDH group, and I played a few games with them, and I made a deck and so on, and it was just all the cards from history, and I had no idea what any of it was doing. But then a lot of people started playing Brawl, which was multiplayer 60 card format, but all standard legal. It was there was just much less of a cognitive load. You could you understood most of the cards because they were only from a very limited pool.
And you were probably playing standard at the moment anyways?
Or like some sort of
draft.
constructed or draft or whatever, so you'd recognize them, and it was just much less of a pool. And the EDH players of the time sort of scoffed that. They were like, oh, I'm not going to dirty myself with Brawl. But it was kind of a really nice on-ramp to then start playing EDH because you knew what the cards did. You could strategize. It wasn't just like this wild panic of, okay, I'm going to play my game because I know what my cards do, and I'm not going to react because I don't know what that card does. And you're also conscious of taking too much time and all of these kind of things. Yeah. So, like,
because that does happen though. Like a lot of players will play their own deck and just not care what everyone else's deck does.
And even you just saying that, it's a Blood Artist effect. People might not know what a Blood Artist is.
Agree.
So just sometimes reading out the card, can
really helpful.
Can help.
Yeah. But I think there's a balance to that as well, where on the complete opposite side, I will have played games with people who are on their phone the whole time, and then when it gets to their turn, they have to like rush and read the whole table and be like, hey, what does that do? What does that do?
Yeah,
and I'm like,
that's annoying,
dude. Right? Like we all played our turns.
That actually, I would say, in terms of etiquette, that's one of the things that I find most annoying.
100%.
Is when, like, if you're spending time with people and you're engaging, you should be sort of present in the game because there's probably somebody waiting for a game who wants your spot if you're not playing. Like if you're just like there but not really there or constantly disappearing. One of the things I love about Commander is it's one of the only times in my week where time flies by and I've not checked my phone for ages because I'm totally engaged in playing and chatting and enjoying it, that I forget about my phone. It's buzzed, I've ignored it, you know. Whereas normally if I'm, doing just at work or something, or the phone goes, it's like, I better check it, you know, but when you're playing like Magic, quite often time just flies by, which is, it's a good sign. It's a sign of engagement, right?
Correct.
But,
but it's also like we said previously, it's a respect of all of our time.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want you to sit there, play on your phone for 3 turns, and then when it's your turn, when we've all explained what our cards do, redo that whole thing again.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that's respectful of our time.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and I've been in games where that happens, where the guy's half on their phone and then half present, and then they're like, I don't know what, I'm just going to play my own deck. Well, then you might as well just playing one-on-one. Like at this point, I don't understand why you're here.
We do have these moments, though, as Commander players when we remember what it's like to be a new player, and that is whenever you start playing, like, for instance, a Universes Beyond Precon, where there's all of a sudden every card or most cards are totally new, and all of a sudden the knackeredness, the cognitive load you feel after a game playing with the Doctor Who suspend deck. You're like, oh my god, what was that? What does that do? What's that saga? And you're just like knackered. And it's like going back to learning to play Commander all over again. Like, what's Cyclonic Rift do?
Right.
Like, we know now because we've experienced through many years of suffering that we know what Cyclonic Rift does and that it's bad for us. Whereas, like, when you're playing a precon game with totally new cards, it's like going back to that initial state.
Do you like that?
It depends. It depends. Like, if I'm with people I enjoy playing with, and if we're having a good time, yes. I enjoy learning new sets and playing new drafts and figuring things out. One of the ways that I discover cards is through drafting a lot. I just play a lot of draft and I'm like, that card's cool, I'll try that.
Right.
That's kind of how I learn things, rather than, that's broken, that's busted, that's going in my busted deck. It's more like, that's kind of funky, Yeah. So I like that aspect of things, but it can be quite draining to totally relearn a deck or of totally new cards. It's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
Learning to play your deck. Like, what is this? Standard? Dear me.
Okay, and then I guess I want to move on to, like, how to end games. How do you feel about quitting?
I'm totally in favor of it. I think it can be done in a nice way. Like, if someone has built an insurmountable advantage as you see it, or you think the game's over or pretty much done, I just will turn to the other sufferers, the other people who are going to lose. I'll just say, I'm happy to quit if you are.
Yep.
You can do it nicely, right? It's not like, well, I quit because you've won.
Right.
Like, I've had a few rage quits, and I've had a few I just can't be bothered with this.
Right.
These kind of things.
Because there's a balance to quitting, and I think that's not really talked about, because everyone kind of sits on one side or the other, where they're like, well, I don't want to be here and not have a good time.
Yeah.
I constantly hear that argument. I'm only here for the day. I want to have a good time, and I want to make the most of the good time that I have, the limited time that I have. But quitting too early is disrespectful of the other 3 people here that are also, maybe trying to beat an arch enemy, and having a 4th really helps that.
Yeah.
Right? But some people will be like, well, look, if this is insurmountable, I quit. Yes, I understand that. But having your resources might make this slightly more surmountable. And more fun, I think. Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a balance there, and I don't know where that point is, and it's different for everyone.
And it really depends on the state of the game as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say it's a 4-player game, and I'm way behind,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to get out of the game. I'm not going to catch up. I know that. I've seen my hand. It's all lands.
Yeah.
I'm already massively behind. I can't win. And there's some certain circumstances. If it's just the 4 of us there, I'll suck it up.
Yeah.
I'll just be like, yep, that's fine. I'll just play. I'll get myself a beer, and I will endeavour. Let's say there's another game finishing and they need a 4th player.
Yeah.
I will ask, I'm going to quit, or can I leave and join that game? I'm not pulling up any trees here.
Right.
Let's say it's a situation where me being around just as a punch bag changes the dynamic of a game. Then it becomes more complicated.
You are 40 points of life that are padding the other 2 players, potentially.
And they don't necessarily... The player that's the aggressor doesn't necessarily know I don't have anything. Only
Correct.
I do.
Correct.
I think there are times to quit. Like, I think quitting at the time where you're least disruptive to the game is good. So, for instance, on your turn...
sorcery speed. Quitting is...
is one way. Like, I think it's very bad form to, like, board wipe and then quit.
Yes,
I've seen that before.
So too.
I've seen that before.
I've not seen that move, but I would be very upset.
I've seen that a few times. I may have done that before. They deserved it. I think that's bad form.
Yeah.
I think that also, like, I think a situation where it's you want to quit because actually you want to really drum home the point that something's not cool. It's like when somebody's just not told the truth about the power level of their deck. I think that's fine. Like, if, we had the Rule 0 conversation, you said it was this, and actually...
It's not.
You said there weren't any game changers, and you've already played 2.
Right.
And you're clearly battering us. I think you can do it in a polite way, but you could just say, look, I am going to quit because this is just not what I was expecting.
It's not what I signed up for. Yeah.
Etc. So I think that's fine. Because that just sort of then drums home that message of, we are here to have a fun time and respect people's time. We're not here to be, your...
punching bag.
We're not here to be your Reddit story of how you pub stomped people. We're actual people who have come here to have some fun. And
I think...
Also... Another time, just while it's in my mind, I don't think it's cool to, like, for instance, quit to stop, like, attack triggers or something like that. Like, everyone swings all out, and they're going to get a load of value, and then you just quit.
Yeah.
So they don't get the value. I think that's bad form. Especially,
How do you feel about king making then? Because king making is the other side of things, where if you quit, someone will for sure win. I think, like you said before, it depends on when you are quitting, where you have the least impact on the game.
I think king making is quite a nebulous term as well.
I agree.
To be honest, like, And I've heard people accuse others of king making when I don't think it's really been a deserved thing. I think this is a really hard one to discuss because it really depends on the situation, the players, how the game's gone, the way things are going, the way your hand is, and so on. Sometimes I've been the beneficiary of what some might term king making. Sometimes I have made a mistake and I've gone all out in one out and it's really screwed it, and and then that person has won as a result of my mistake.
I'm with you. I don't think it's avoidable. I think king making, quote, king making is just going to be a part of the game. And
let's be clear, sometimes it can be really funny. Let's say I'm in a game with you and we've been going at each other all game, but then somebody else is getting ahead. It's really, really funny in a moment where it looks like we've had an alliance, just as petty vengeance, just to kill you. Just, and that would be funny. But you need, again, it's about people.
Yes.
You need to have that rapport. You need,
That's the best part of EDH.
Yeah. It's
I'm with you.
I made a clearly a terrible play. And so, actually, me, Don, and Dan, we played a game. And,
last week.
Yeah. And it was a really funny game where the game had been going on forever, back and forth or whatever. And I thought, okay, I've got this. I can get it. So I reanimated something from Don's graveyard and attacked Dan for lethal and killed him. But in doing so, it made Don realize there was something in his graveyard that could kill me.
Perfect. That is perfect.
And then as a result of that, the last person, the King of the Ashes, Alex, swept in and killed Don because it was just this cataclysm of betrayal.
Right.
And it was a really funny end to a game.
The rule of cool. I think as long as it's cool and fun.
But let's say the four of us didn't get along. Let's say we were strangers and it looked like I deliberately made a decision to sabotage someone.
Yeah.
And I totally ruined the game because what was a really balanced, interesting game, it just went down like a pack of cards, like a deck of cards, House of Cards. I will get this metaphor right eventually. And it totally, because the four of us were having beers were on the table, there was food, so that's bad etiquette already there, right? And we were playing this game. I killed Dan because it was funny. Then it led to Don killing me because I'd done something stupid, and then it led to Don being killed. And because of that situation, it was fun, but it could easily have not been fun. But it all depends on the people,
right?
And your rapport together, your enjoyment of the game,
your friendship.
Right?
We're allowed to say friend. We're all friends here.
We're all friends here.
Yeah.
But to be honest, if you play in a game store, you're not always going to be friends. Or at a Command Fest. It's
at a big event, I think a lot of etiquette changes, which is why I think the new bracket system works. It must be there because I think the new bracket system is there for you to play with strangers.
Yeah.
When you're with your friends, I don't mind if you're a 2 or a 3. I think as long as we're just kind of honest with each other and we're in the same I don't care.
Yeah, I don't even really
talk about it anymore.
Mention brackets.
Yeah.
I think I'll just usually say no game changes and my deck aims to do this.
Yeah.
This is my factual fiction deck. This is a Boros Blink deck.
Way easier to do that with your friends because they kind of know the decks already.
Yeah.
They know where you're coming from and you're not a terrible person.
Yeah.
But in a big event, it's much harder.
Yeah.
Because you just have random people being like, "Hey, do you want to play?"
And even if you are a terrible person, they kind of accept that because they're your friends.
Correct. I actually have one more, which I heard about online, and someone had asked, "Do you let people play out their cool thing? If it's like a big, long, annoying combo, but it's the cool thing for their deck, but it's going to take a while. Do you just let it go? Do you just wait?"
As always, it depends.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to see the cool thing. Mm-hmm. For instance, and sometimes even in 1v1 I'll do that because it's fun. Like that example right at the beginning of the podcast with the 6 Black Lotus Primeval Titan. I kept playing. I wanted to see how much gas was left in this explosion.
Right.
I wanted to see what other terrible things would happen to me. And this is with an online arena with a random stranger.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see what other busted stuff they could come up with.
I'm constantly there.
I had a game recently against Aiden, and Aiden has an epic deck. And
Yes.
it's the black epic spell there, where it removes everything from your deck. And he was
slowly.
I was tapped
yes.
out, and it was just down, I think, to me and him, or me, him, and someone else. And it was clear that he had it, but we just let him play it out. Just because, well, first of all, he might not have it, but also it's kind of cool to see this this weird.
Just slowly take cards out of your library every turn. Yeah.
I mean, I think once he'd done it, he demonstrated he could do it twice or 3 times. We were like, yeah, we're screwed. Let's quit. But he still did the cool thing, and that's nice. That's a good thing to see. It's a cool win.
Do you stay when you're out of the game? Like, you've already been knocked out. But I watch. And most games, people will stay and just watch. Yeah. Even if you're out of the game, they'll stay in their pod and just watch the rest of the game.
Yeah, I ask for vengeance from whoever killed me. I'll say, I should get him. It depends. Like, if there's a new pod starting, I'll go. But if it's, I won't like go on my phone and ignore and zone out and huff. I'll usually. I think
watch in Polite Society, it's nice to stay and just watch who wins that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But some people don't. Some people just be like, no, I'm out. Goodbye. And go find another game.
And to be honest, Arthur, we've been talking for what, like almost an hour, right?
Yeah, about an hour.
And probably some of the people watching this are going to be like, no, I remember. I remember when David was he stormed off swearing and vowed he'd never play again. Yeah. Which is entirely true and fair. But we keep coming back, right? But it really depends on
your play group.
Yeah, and your mood, and we're all sort of working on ourselves all the time, etc., aren't we? And,
but I think it's a weird thing to do, actually, to stay and just like watch till the end of the game. Like, I would much rather, if resources allow, to jump into another game as soon as possible. But I've seen people that are curious enough about this game that they just want to stay and watch till the end.
And to be honest, as well, a lot of the intrigue is in the one-on-one at the end.
I agree. That's where I was going with this.
The other people have been shuffled away, and now then, actually, when it becomes one-on-one, you're back to
cutthroat.
Actually, you're back to proper magic.
Yeah.
In our friend James Sue would call it that, wouldn't he? You're back to proper magic. At the moment, it's 1v1. I think an Armageddon is fair game.
Yes, I think so too.
For example, or I think like doing the nastiest things, because actually at that point you're doing the right thing because you're trying to get to the next game with people who are waiting. All of a sudden, then your evil intentions and actions are sort of morally acceptable because you're trying to win the game. Because when it comes down to 2, it's not about people's feelings and enjoyment. We've had that. Now it's about closing it out and trying to win.
It's really
interesting.
I had this exact point that you just said when you, me, Trev, and Philip were playing.
Yeah.
And it was down to you and Trev.
Yeah.
And you said, no more takesies backsies.
Yeah.
No more takesies backsies. This is the end of the game.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so smart. Because I don't want to play like woo-woo magic anymore. We're at the end of the game. Let's just clean it up. Yeah. And I think that was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
EDH has so many take-backs.
Yeah.
And that's like part of the game that we're just kind of accustomed to. Yeah. But at the end, I don't think there should be takesies backsies.
Yeah.
Like, let's just finish it out and let's close out the game.
Yeah. There's a whole thing about owning your mistakes and all of that and taking stuff back. And we don't need to go in that because that's a whole different podcast. Yeah. But yeah, when it comes down to 1v1, it's kind of like, not all games go to a 1v1. It's kind of a rare situation sometimes. Like, quite often it's an alpha strike that wins a game of EDH or whatever. So when it actually comes down to a 1v1 where everyone's drawing a card a turn and there's a board state, like, I think it's kind of nice. Like, I think people like it when there's 2 people slugging it out for the win.
Me too. I like it.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah, it's enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any more, social cues, things that people should remember?
No, I can't. Off the top of my head, I know we've just been talking for a while. I think we're pretty much on the same page. I think if you are somebody who's struggling to think about, you don't maybe feel as though you are enjoying playing EDH as much as you could, or you feel you are not having the best games, like maybe you're winning too much, or people don't seem to get you, or like maybe what I would say is try to think about having a good time with the people and don't focus on having an amazing deck. Think about having an amazing game. That would be my advice, I suppose, is like not just thinking about, well, I didn't do anything wrong, but thinking about like, what could I do to make it more fun? Like, if you're unsure, put a coveted jewel in your deck. Like, put the monarch in. Yeah. Like, and don't do fake group hug. Don't do like Miss Bumbleflower bullshit where it's like, this is my group hug deck, when it's not. It's just that's not group hug. Like, put a humble defector in, give it to someone, make a deal to get it back, have a laugh. That is how you go into it and have fun. It's not this like stealth kindness. Be kind to people. Oh God, I just said be kind on a fucking podcast, but you know what I mean? Like, if you are struggling with it, just like think about what would make it more interesting and
maximize that.
Yeah, the coveted jewel's a good way.
I think so too.
The coveted jewel's a good way. Let the jewel flow. Everyone draws cards, and we see where we land.
At least monarch.
The monarch. Yes.
Yeah. But if you want to go all out, coveted jewel is a great way to spice up most games.
For the Christmas event that we're doing this year, if anyone, I don't know if this will be out by then, but if you are interested, on the 13th of December, we're doing a Christmas thing. Message me or message Arthur, and he'll put you in touch with me.
Absolutely.
We're going to be doing basically the idea is everybody makes a deck and you give it to someone else. First round's two-headed giant. Subsequent 2 rounds are 4-player. Two-headed giant game, you play with the person you give your deck to, etc. But in the 4-player games this year, we're going to have First Blood becomes the monarch. Oh. And it's just to speed games along, give aggro a bit of a chance. And also, because games with the monarch tend to be more fun, more engaging, and it's more fun than the initiative. So we figure First Blood becomes the monarch. There's a monarch token in the beginning, middle of the table. First person to deal the damage becomes the monarch. And let the chips fall where they may. And I think that'll make it more fun. That being said, I'm not always a great judge at what is fun in those Christmas events, so we will see.
Guys, really, I hear the Christmas events. I hope the Christmas event won't be fun this year.
It was fun last year, and the year before that I had a breakdown. But we learn. It's my last year doing it. Next year it's going to carry on without me, but it will be a good time.
Who knows? Maybe next year we'll be in Thailand and we'll see you there.
Ho ho ho.
All right, thank you very much for listening, everyone. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Do 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 do.